Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. As you guys know, the 2023 NBA draft was last night, but in rare fashion, the New York Knicks did not hold one single draft pick. Obviously, the protections went on to change when it came to the Dallas Mavericks going on to lose a very pivotal game versus the Chicago Bulls at the end of the season. They went on to trade for Kyrie Irving, but the Mavericks even got worse and didn't even make the play-in. So that was big time, not having the Mavericks' potential lottery pick with the protections on it. That was top 10 protected. And obviously as well, we went on to trade a first-round draft pick that belonged to the Portland Trailblazers last night because we went on to trade for Josh Hart. We did not hold a second rounder, so it was really strange not holding a draft pick. And I believe that was our first time not holding a draft pick in the first round since 2016. But the New York Knicks went out there and actually went on to pick up a couple undrafted free agents on two-way contracts, and they're pretty big names when it comes to, or at least one's a huge name because his brother actually plays on the team. As we went on to sign Jacob Toppin to a two-way contract, a small forward coming out of Kentucky, played 4 years of collegiate basketball, not all at Kentucky though, actually played his freshman year at Rhode Island. As you guys know, the Toppin family is from New York, but it was very interesting when I saw that report that we signed Jacob Toppin to a two-way contract because all these reports coming out is that like Obi's unhappy, so are we bringing his brother in to make sure that Obi's happy? I'm very interested in what's going on there, or it may be a coincidence because if you did not know, the son of Leon Rose, Sam Rose, he has a client that happens to also be a part of the CAA. You know, Obi Toppin was part of the CAA, and obviously Ori is. And then you take a look at Jacob Toppin as well. And Jacob Toppin definitely has shown some progression throughout the years as a collegiate basketball player, especially his fourth year. He was scoring in double digits. And I'm not gonna sit up here and say, oh, this guy is just gonna like be amazing. He's gonna make the team and he's just gonna be a gem. Of course, you always root for the underdog. You always root for anyone to be successful as long as they're a good human being and they're putting the work in and they get the equal opportunity, hopefully. But Jacob Toppin, I think he's going to be fun to watch in the Summer League. And then we also signed a small forward from Overtime Elite of Jacob Martin that I covered a little bit, or I watched him a little bit since high school. You know, he's an athletic player that likes to get after it on the defense side of the basketball, but both of these players do lack touch from the outside. But I think they're going to be fun to watch in the Summer League. Do I think they're going to make like a full-time roster at some point and not potentially be in the G League and then play a certain amount of games in the NBA? Like, I would be surprised if they play some games like with the New York Knicks next season that isn't the G League. I'm sorry if I said the Summer League, but it runs in the family. You know, Dunkers delight Obi Toppin and Jacob Toppin's father. You know, Obi Toppin won the dunk contest. He's an athletic freak of nature. Jacob Toppin is one hell of an athlete as well. So when you take a look at Jacob Toppin's physical profile, I actually have it right here. Jacob Toppin, senior, obviously 6'9", 205 pounds, and again, he's pretty athletic, has a little bit of length when it comes to him as well. So when it comes to if it's in the G League, if it's in the Summer League, I guarantee he's gonna be utilized as a roller a bunch of like the majority of the offense when it comes to when the offense is being run through Jacob Toppin because he's an athletic freak. He could really put that head above the rim. He's really good at cutting back door when it comes to baseline. He's constantly moving without the basketball. John Calipari did a really good job utilizing him that way. He's a lob threat. If he is the right point guard in the G League system when it comes to Westchester Knicks, run that screen, roll action, him roll into the basket, believe me, he'll be in situations to definitely catch lobs. And he's actually a pretty underrated defender. He's a versatile defender that can defend a few positions, probably three. I'm not sure how many he's going to be able to defend in Summer League and the G League up against those NBA talented players. Obviously, some of those players probably won't make actual NBA rosters that he goes on to play up against in the G League and the NBA, but they're talented enough to play at that level. Like the worst player in the G League could whoop anyone's ass. That's just the reality. He could whoop an average human's ass when it comes to basketball, but he's a pretty versatile defender. He's light on his feet. He does lack basketball IQ, though. Sometimes he could be in the wrong spot at the wrong time. But I believe when I watched him play at Kentucky, his lateral quickness is better than Obi Toppin. And sometimes when he's getting beat, he could recover and just smack it off the backboard because he's such an athletic freak and he could be a potential good help side defender. So I mentioned his cutting. I mentioned he's a pretty underrated defender. He may not be fantastic at the next level when it comes to G League and not watching him in the Summer League, but he plays with tons of energy, which I really love. He has an underrated feel for the game that he knows when to make right reads out there on the floor. but he's not a great jump shooter. 30% from three, not the best. And when you watch him, he just lacks touch. He lacks he lacks consistent mechanics. His shot could look really clunky. It could be a line drive. He could have really bad misses. But he's actually a better shooter off the bounce, which is kind of strange. Maybe not, though, because, a dribble can get you into rhythm. But sometimes instead of taking the three, goes off the dribble, and pulls up from mid-range. So he's definitely even better in that department. But he plays with tons of energy. He's a hard worker. He's a great teammate. He's always posting on Instagram, him getting that work in, lifting weights. He's a pretty strong guy. He's an NBA-ready body. So he's going to bring athleticism. He's going to run in transition. But it comes down to the touch. Sometimes he can be throwing up a hook shot and does not have great touch, but he's a solid left hand. He's not afraid to go to that left hand. So pure athleticism, but Obi Toppin definitely does have a way better touch than his brother, Jacob Toppin. Now getting into Jalen Martin, the 6'6", 205-pound forward. I'm not going to lie, I wanted to go through what they say about him together when it comes to a scouting report on NBA Scouting Live, because I watched Jacob Toppin play, and there's highlights of Jalen Martin film, like highlights out there. There's Jalen Martin highlights, but it was tough for me to actually find film, like real film for him, so I wasn't just going to go off of highlights. But right here for Jalen Martin, small forward, and keep in mind we have Trevor Keel still on this roster as well, who doesn't really play, so it'll be tough for these guys to really crack a rotation. But again, I'm rooting for these guys. Jalen Martin, 6'6", 205 pounds, he's from Florida. Played for Overtime Elite, obviously, kind of low. It's lower competition compared to the G League, though, but still top-ranked players. They actually had him ranked 98 out of the top 100 prospects in 2023. Projected draft range, second round undrafted. Ended up being undrafted. Pros excels at scoring on off-ball motion plays. Decent rebounder for his size, okay. Decent defender, solid athlete. Cons need to improve his shooting. So both these guys, Jacob Toppin and Jalen Martin, they have these athletic tools, they have solid physical profiles, but it comes down to their outside shooting. Needs to improve his playmaking skills, can struggle to guard quicker players, relative unknown commodity. Summary is Jalen Martin is an athletic, energetic swingman that recently played in the Overtime Elite League this past season. He played well in the 2023 G League Elite Camp, and he is currently a borderline second-round candidate. So it wasn't like he was just going to straight up be undrafted. There was a shot, but I'm excited to see what Jalen Martin and Jacob Toppin are going to end up doing when it comes to Summer League. I believe they're going to be fun to watch because they have this athleticism that they bring to the table. Summer League, I don't read a lot into it, especially because we don't have really big-time important guys right now in the Summer League. Obi's not in there anymore, Quick's not, RJ, etc. But remember when Ignas Brazdeikis was in, that was really interesting. But let me know down below, do you think these guys are going to impress and they're going to make the team, or you think they're just going to end up being on two-way contracts and maybe they could stick that way and be on the Westchester Knicks? Let me know down below your thoughts. Peace out, y'all.